Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Small Business Requirements and Resources Grow Your Business in Washington State Today webinar. This presentation is brought to you by the Small Business Liaison Team, better known as the SBLT. The SBLT is a group of professionals spanning many state agencies dedicated to making it easier for businesses to operate in Washington. The purpose of this webinar is to help you expand your current business by providing you valuable information about resources available to help facilitate growth and to provide information about affiliated regulatory requirements you will want to be aware of. Before we begin, we'd just like to share a few other offerings from the Small Business Liaison Team. We have a series of small business requirements and resources, or what we call SBRR webinars, all of which are free and are offered on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. In addition to this session, Grow Your Business Today, that you're currently in, we have a COVID-19 impacts webinar for understanding business requirements surrounding the pandemic and the resources that are available to assist you. This offering is in English and Spanish. And while many of you may not have an urgent need, as you already been exploring the growth stage of your business, we do offer a Start a Business in Washington webinar that provides an overview of those looking to start their business for the first time. We know that as business owners, you don't have a whole lot of time on your hands. So all the webinars are oriented to helping you get important information quickly and efficiently in about an hour or less. So go to business.wa.gov/SBRR for more information and registration, and we'll put that in the chat as well. And coming soon, we will have recorded Start and Grow webinars on demand. And this one is being recorded, and you will have a limited time to access it post-conference. We ask that you direct all questions to our Q&A box and not the chat. This allows us to track questions before, and will be Dylan will be helping us manage the questions that come in. Feel free to write your questions at any time during the presentation, and the questions will be addressed by our team. They'll be filtered, and then we'll be asking the presenters to speak to them. We will conclude the presentation with a session and letting you know what's coming forward. And as the conference continues, our open mic sessions are usually for our webinars, but here we'll be controlling it through chat, and then encouraging you to visit the booth, and we will answer more specific questions with booth specialists there. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over. Well, no, let me touch on one last thing here. Okay, let's get started. You've put a lot of time, money, and sweat into your business, and now it's time to grow. And growing can involve a number of different actions. And here are those that we plan to address in this presentation. Number one, getting money to finance your growth, something that everything is very important. Number two, adding employees, what to do if you'd like to expand your workforce and acquire talent acquisition that's out there. Opening new locations in different cities, different counties, expanding to new markets. And finally, we will wrap up with information to let you know of available resources and opportunities to build on your management experience. With that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Celia Nightingale. Celia, good afternoon.
Hi. Thank you, Raphael. Yes. So, action one, getting money to finance your growth. You may be one of those very rare businesses that has plenty of money to fund growth, but that's not the norm. Growth can be financed in many ways. Here's a list of several options. A few of these the state can help you with, and we'll talk about those in a minute, but others not so much. To explore financing options, we recommend you connect with organizations that provide advising and other small business services. Here are some of them. They can tell you more about the options, discuss which may make the most sense for your business, and help you prepare cash flow projections and other documents that funders will need. We'll tell you more about these organizations later in this presentation. So what are some of the state resources related to financing for businesses? The Department of Commerce has financing programs of their own, plus they're connected to a number of other programs. Go to www.commerce.wa.gov for lots of great information. A bit about grants. While there have been many federal, state, and local grant programs during this COVID-19 pandemic, in non-COVID times, grants are exceedingly rare for businesses. so you probably won't want to count on grant funding for future growth. Are you interested in selling stock in your business as a means of raising funds? If so, you'll need to register your stock offering with the State Department of Financial Institutions. Learn more through their website, www.dfi.wa.gov. If you're a certified veteran-owned business or a certified woman or minority-owned business, you have access to the state's linked deposit program. The linked deposit program can potentially lower the interest rate of your growth loan. For more information, go to the websites noted on the slide. We'll tell you a little bit later about becoming certified. Although not directly on the topic of money, we want to say a bit about forms of ownership because they can impact some financing options. It's not uncommon for sole proprietorships and partnerships to consider changing to limited liability companies or corporations after being in business a while. This slide lists some of the reasons why you might or might not want to change. You'll find more information about the differences in forms of ownership in the Washington Small Business Guide section on the topic. But before you make a change, make sure you talk with your legal and accounting advisors. You'll want to make sure that you have the full picture of the various impacts. If you do decide to move forward with changing your form of ownership from sole proprietorship or partnership to a corporation or LLC, you'll need to close your existing entity and open a new one. You'll start here on the Secretary of State's Corporations Division's website. With an LLC, you'll be completing a certificate of formation and an initial report. With a corporation, you'll be completing an Articles of Incorporation form and an initial report. You can file and pay online for about $200, but that's just the filing. To truly be an LLC or corporation with the desired limited liability and other benefits, you'll have to operate like one. That starts with the governance document, which is an operating agreement for an LLC or bylaws for a corporation, even if it's just you in business by yourself. You'll want to learn more about those documents, what to put in them, and how they can affect your business down the road. But there's more to know than that. You'll be creating an organization separate from yourself legally, and you'll need to be mindful of keeping that separation distinct and following best practices. Again, do your research about what being an LLC or corporation entails, and consider engaging an attorney to advise you now and in the future. And next, because you're a new business from a legal perspective, you'll need to get a new federal identification number at irs.gov and get new state and local licenses, starting here at the Department of Revenue's website. You can generally use your existing SAW credentials, that's Secure Access Washington credentials, and DOR will help you connect your new UBI to your existing SAW account. Your UBI would be your new account for the state of Washington. As for closing the old business, again, talk to your advisors. Also, review the closed chapter of the Washington Small Business Guide. All right, and now I'd like to introduce Andrew Bryan, my colleague from the Department of Labor and Industries. Andrew.
Thank you, Celia. Greetings and good afternoon. I'm Andrew Bryan, the Assistant Small Business Liaison at Labor and Industries. And yes, I'm entirely composed of first names all the way down to the cellular level. I'm going to be covering our second action today, which is adding employees. If you're becoming an employer for the first time or expanding your team, there are several items you want to consider. In this section, we're going to cover the planning you should undertake before adding employees, utilizing independent contractors, and what constitutes a true independent contractor in Washington. We'll look at the many requirements and responsibilities that come with being an employer, like new hire reporting and the payroll impacts, and we'll conclude with the many resources that are available to assist you. Whether you're hiring your first or your 20th employee, you'll want to have a vision of how you'll grow your company. What teams will you have now and down the road? What roles will individual team members play? What backgrounds, certifications, and experiences will your employees need? And once you're ready to hire, you'll want to create job descriptions with clear expectations to ensure that you and your staff are aligned for a positive future. Employees versus independent contractors. Businesses beware. It's not uncommon for small businesses to engage independent contractors, but often many of those contractors don't actually meet the federal or state requirements and would actually be considered employees based on the law. There's a lot of misunderstanding here. It doesn't matter how many hours they work for you, how much they earn, or what you call them. If they don't pass the independent contractor test, you're required to consider them employees, follow employment laws, and put them on your payroll. So definitely take a look at this L&I publication and the website where you can go through that test and learn more. If you're not currently an employer but have decided to hire your first employee, you'll need to refile your business license application with the state at the Department of Revenue. By indicating that you're adding employees on the business license application, accounts will be automatically created at the Employment Security Department, or ESD, who will set up your state unemployment tax account and your paid family and medical leave account, as well as at Department of Labor and Industries, or L&I, who will open your workers' compensation insurance account and, if applicable, will issue your minor work permit if you're hiring workers that are under the age of 18. You will have quarterly filing responsibilities with ESD and L&I, plus the IRS. So please see the Run Your Business chapter of the Small Business Guide for more information on that. There is a mighty list of labor laws and worker benefits to be aware of, and you'll find that in the Small Business Guide. We simply don't have the time to cover them all in this webinar, but you'll find links in the guide where you can learn more. In addition to the many labor laws, here are many of the employment laws you can expect to encounter when operating a business with employees. There are actually more than what's listed here, but these are some of the major ones. L&I offers a webinar that focuses on most of these employer requirements, so consider attending an L&I Essentials for Business webinar, which is offered every month by yours truly, and is certain to be the most thrilling L&I webinar you'll ever attend. Fair warning, I do issue dad jokes, but I don't issue refunds, mostly because the webinar is free. By the way, L&I provides many services to employers as well as overseeing requirements. The Essentials webinar will also share some of those opportunities. Again, we can't cover these in detail in this webinar, but this is information you will want to access either through the Small Business Guide or through that L&I Essentials for Business webinar, or better yet, both. Employers are required to report all new hires and rehires, including part-time and temporary employees, within 20 days to the Washington Department of Social and Health Services. The information is used for child support collections purposes and unemployment fraud detection. You will report employee name, address, birth date, social security number, and hire date through the Secure Access Washington website. There are federal requirements with new hires as well, such as employer and employee completion of the Department of Homeland Security's I-9 form and the employee's completion of the IRS W-4 form. You'll find information and links to those forms in the Small Business Guide. Now, this chart is an excerpt from the payroll chapter of the guide. The payroll chapter has lots of different types of information, from new employee reporting, employee record keeping, to federal and state payroll taxes. It includes tables, including this one of the 3 state payroll taxes, what they're for, how and when to report and pay, and to which agencies. The full-length table, however, also includes federal payroll tax responsibilities, which you'll need to know. In addition to what the payroll section provides, there's further information about your ongoing tax responsibilities in the Run chapter of the guide. Also in the payroll section, we have a payroll calculator. It'll help you plan financially for the impact of adding staff. There are plenty of employer resources available to you. This webpage shows some of what the Employment Security Department has to offer, including tax credits, data on local wage rates, and advertising for your job openings. We encourage you to get to know your local workforce and WorkSource business representatives and the regional economists as valuable resources. As an employer, you have many responsibilities regarding the safety of your workers. Not only are you tasked with providing a safe and healthy workplace and complying with safety standards, every employer is required to have an active, written, Accident Prevention Program, or APP. For help meeting both of those requirements, L&I has a team of statewide consultants that will come to your business to perform free confidential consultations. Yes, free and confidential, meaning any safety compliance issues discovered will not be shared with L&I's compliance inspectors, nor will citations or fines be issued. These consultants can assist you with creating an APP that fits your business's specific needs and can alert you about any hazards that need correcting. And with that, I will turn it over to Cindy Autovich of the Department of Revenue for our third action. Take it away, Cindy.
Thanks, Andrew. All right, so now on to growth action 3, which is new locations. So to many, growing a business means adding new locations, maybe a second fitness center, coffee shops in new neighborhoods, another manufacturing location, or construction services offered in more cities. The pandemic has led us to big changes in the availability and pricing of commercial space, so it may be a good time for that kind of growth. How do you learn about options? Your region's economic development organization is likely to know about available space in your area, as are real estate professionals. So how do you learn if the space is the right option for you? You'll want to do your homework. The same economic development organizations plus public libraries, you'll be amazed at the powerful databases they make available to you that can help you understand the local demographics. How many people of what age and what income level live within a specific radius of a particular location? And cities and counties have data too. In traffic studies to know, for example, how many people pass by a particular location every day. Whether your new locations are permanent sites or whether you're just providing services in new locations, you'll need to look into licenses and sales tax rates. So for brick and mortar locations, be sure to update your state business license. You'll need to file a business license application to add a new location. You'll also need to check with the city to see if a city business license is required. Most cities require a local business license. A list of cities is available on DOR's website at dor.wa.gov/city endorsements, as you see there on the screen. For cities that partner with the Department of Revenue, you can get your license at the same time you update your business license application. But for cities that don't partner with Department of Revenue, reach out to them directly to find out what you'll need. Check city and county permit requirements as well. And be sure to know the correct local sales tax rate to charge when you're doing business in a particular city. We have several ways for you to determine your tax rate on our website at dor.wa.gov/sales tax rates. Again, that showed on your screen, and through our free tax rate lookup mobile app. Now, for new service locations, you'll also need to file a new business license application to add a new location to your existing license. And you'll also want to verify the sales tax rate you'll need to charge your customers. And now moving from growth action 3 to action 4, new markets. So we're addressing the expansion of what you sell, who you sell to, and how you sell it. For the what, we encourage you to meet with business advisors to help you assess what products or service additions or enhancements may make sense for your target market and your other goals. So here are a few things to think about as you explore potential options. What are your customers telling you? Have you asked for things you haven't been able to provide? And can you package things together for their benefit? Next slide. Be aware that new products and services can come new regulatory requirements. For example, let's say you're a coffee shop and want to expand to offer wine during the evenings. That will require licensing with the Liquor and Cannabis Board. Or let's say you're a landscape maintenance firm and you're planning to expand to constructing patios and fences. That requires a contractor registration with the Department of Labor and Industries. Additionally, you'll have new workers' compensation insurance rates and new worker safety and health responsibilities. Perhaps you're an arborist and see demand for a particular type of tree that's hard to come by. So you decide to propagate and sell them on the side. That will require a nursery license. In addition to new licenses, different products and services may mean different tax responsibilities with the Department of Revenue and different reporting requirements to other agencies as well. So how do you learn what all will be required? The licensing wizard found at dor.wa.gov/license wizard is very helpful for that. Enter your new scenario and it will respond with licensing requirements. Consult the small business guide or use the chat on business.wa.gov. And your business advisors should be helpful too. Consider expanding how you sell. We've learned through the pandemic how critical it is to have a solid online presence. Optimize your website. Bring in some expertise to help you. Visual appeal. Use limited words, well chosen for easy reading and action. Use images that are relevant and powerful. Make your top tasks easy to find and easy to complete, whether the end goal is to make a purchase, set an appointment, or ask for a follow-up call. Look for opportunities for strategic cross-links with other businesses. Social media, consumers in many markets and age groups want quick sound bites. Today's special or sale product of the week. Also try out e-newsletters, blogs, and posts. Choose wisely and in small bits, meaning only take on what you have time to actively update. Customers will look elsewhere if you have outdated, expired, or stale content. Provide fresh messages daily. Feature a product, service, or feature a team member to share the human side of your small business. Next slide. And now who you sell to. Selling to a broader geography can provide opportunity for growth. Research where there are underserved markets. Can you reach them through online methods? Can you reach them through distributors? What about selling products and services to the government? Governments buy billions of dollars of products and services. So why shouldn't they buy some from you? But more on that later. Consider selling overseas. People think about selling products, but many professional services are also potentially lucrative exports. There are several state and federal programs that can help you. Just know you don't have to go it alone with exploring international markets. There are several no-cost state and federal programs that can help you. They can help you learn the best countries for your products and services. They can help you with logistics and financing, and they can help you with marketing, potentially including opportunities with state trade missions. The State Department of Commerce has excellent online resources and trade experts you can talk to. And there are also trade experts in the Small Business Development Center network, as well as with the Export Assistance Center in Seattle. And now I'd like to introduce Caleb McInvale from the Office of Minority and Women's Business Enterprises.
Thank you, Cindy. And I'm going to talk about government markets. And as for the government market, it's vast. You probably think of office supplies, road construction, military hardware and such, but it goes way beyond that. It could be catering a meeting, pest management on state property, team building training for a work team. The list is nearly endless. There are many different types of government buyers, from federal, state, and local government agencies to ports, libraries, school districts, military bases, public hospitals, and others. And many governments have small business and other targeted purchasing goals. So how do you learn more about selling to the government? This page from the Washington State Department of Enterprise Services is helpful. And another great resource is Washington PTAC, the Procurement Technical Assistance Center. PTAC has no-cost contracting experts located in 8 centers statewide and available virtually during the pandemic. They provide one-on-one business advising, a variety of trainings, conferences with opportunities to meet prospective buyers, and more. They can help you determine who buys what you sell, how to learn about opportunities and how to prepare a bid, and how to successfully manage your public contracts. PTAC can also help you determine what types of certifications might be helpful to you and whether you're qualified and how to obtain them. More on that next. As we said earlier, government buyers often have goals for how much they purchase from small businesses, as well as minority, veteran, and women-owned businesses. And in the case of some federal contracts, it can go beyond goals to requirements. It's not uncommon for large government contractors to seek certified businesses to help them fulfill these requirements. Certification programs we discussed today are in fact specifically designed with government contracting in mind. Even if you don't want to work directly for the government, there are other reasons to have certifications. More and more big companies seek certified businesses to do business with, not because they have to, but because it's just good business. So what are these beneficial certifications? The Washington State Office of Minority and Women's Business Enterprises certifies businesses that are minority or women-owned for work with the state government. A few of OMWBE's certifications are listed here on this slide. Other than OMWBE's programs, the State Department of Veterans Affairs offers veteran-owned business certification, and the Department of Enterprise Services has a small business self-registration on their WEBS system. If you'd like to work directly for the federal government, there are some helpful federal certifications as well. The Small Business Administration has many certification programs available, including the 8A program, HubZone, Women-Owned Small Business, and more. Contact the SBA or your PTAC counselor for more detail on these programs. Certifications can also be helpful with consumer sales. When you can say or show that you have a certification, that can make you stand out in a positive way. Many people like to support the underdog, and certifications provide a way to show you qualify for that kind of support. In addition to handling the certification process itself, OMWB provides affiliated support services. And remember the link deposit program from our earlier discussion on growth financing, where certified businesses can get reductions on loan interest rates. That's another good reason to get certified with OMWB. The next slide shows a helpful OMWB webpage and an online video to gain more information about various certifications and how to apply. And now I'll turn it over to Scott Hitchcock from the Office of Regulatory Information and Assistance. Thank you.
Thank you, Caleb. Now on to our last section, Action 5, building your management expertise. In small business, so much depends on the knowledge and abilities of the business owner. As with all of us, a typical business owner has areas of strength and areas that maybe aren't so strong. It's important to recognize when you need help and take advantage of advising, training, and other resources to fill in those knowledge gaps and skill gaps. This section of our presentation will be all about the many resources available to you. I'll cover how to sharpen your management skills, gain information about beneficial programs, get guidance on your growth plan, and get assistance with preparing, completing, and compiling financial projections and other documents to put you in good shape for securing financing. Next slide, please. We'll start this section with a word about Scale Up, a training entirely about moving your business from the stage it's at to the next one. The lead trainer, who learned a lot the hard way through his entrepreneurial journeyship, describes how you can grow a business by working more hours when you're already working around the clock, or by working harder when you're already maxed out. You can't do that. You need to do things differently, and that's what Scale Up is about. You need to work smarter rather than harder, which means working more on your business than in your business. The Washington Department of Commerce is funding this powerful program, making it no cost to participants, at least no dollar cost, or certainly a time investment, and one that's likely to bring great return. Another great place to go is the U.S. Small Business Administration at sba.gov. You'll find resources such as a business guide, funding programs, federal contracting opportunities, a business learning platform, and best of all, opportunities to connect with local assistance programs. Let's address some of those programs. The Small Business Development Center, or SBDC, funded in part through the U.S. Small Business Administration, through Washington State University and regional partners, has over 24 certified business advisors located throughout the state who provide no-cost assistance to small businesses. Because they're well networked and tapped to each other for specific knowledge, you can actually get the experience of all of them when you work with your local advisor. In addition to one-on-one advising, the SBDC provides low-cost training on a variety of topics and is highly knowledgeable about financing and other resources they connect you with. SBDC advisors are also leading some of the many concurrent scale-up sessions offered statewide through the Department of Commerce. Visit wsbdc.org to find a center near you. SCORE is another SBA-affiliated assistance provider with a nationwide network of volunteer expert business mentors. Dedicated to helping small businesses achieve their goals, SCORE provides free, confidential mentoring, a variety of free online workshops and courses, a library of online resources, and holds free or low-cost events like workshops, roundtables, discussions, and a variety of other topics. Visit SCORE or score.org to find a mentor near you. Washington is lucky to have 2 other SBA affiliated programs as well, including 2 women's business centers and a Veterans Business Outreach Center. And Washington has a minority business development agency in Tacoma, affiliated with U.S. Department of Commerce. As with SCORE and SBDC, they provide small business advising training networks, networking, and connection to other resources, with a focus on the special needs of their target clients. Wait, there's more. There's assistance directly catered to micro enterprises or businesses with 5 or fewer employees. The Washington State Micro Enterprise Association includes a number of organizations that provide businesses of this size services such as training, technical assistance, microloans, networking opportunities, and advocacy. Many have a special focus on supporting lower income entrepreneurs. Visit WSMA's website, as you see on this slide, to see what's available in your community. Additionally, several economic development organizations also provide small business services. Find out about the services your county's Economic Development Council or board offers by linking through the Washington's Economic Development Association website. It's also a great idea to familiarize yourself with your local chambers of commerce and downtown associations as a means to stay connected to your local economies and for increasing those networking opportunities. Being a member helps raise the visibility of your business in the community and helps bring credibility to it, while also gaining a voice in local government. Most chambers and downtown associations come with benefits like marketing and professional development opportunities, and even discounts on your local business needs. No matter what kind of business you're operating, chances are there's an industry association that exists for it. Joining an industry association further expands your business network by connecting you to like-minded professionals and even potential future employees. By tapping into the knowledge and experience of fellow industry professionals, you may save yourself lots of time and trouble when you encounter problems specific to your industry. Industry associations also afford you greater opportunities to collaborate and advocate as a group. Gain insider access to opportunities or resources and stay current on business trends. The Secretary of State's office has a list of Washington industry associations that can be found via any search engine. So you can see you have a number of opportunities to build your expertise in Washington. Well, that concludes the portion of our webinar.